Okay, well, my name is Mary Douglas Drysdale, and I guess if we're going to talk about the design ethos, who are we, what's our brand, I could say that we are a boutique interior design firm. And what do I mean by that? I mean that we are not so big in numbers. I've preferred to have a smaller staff. But on the other hand, we've made a very strong impression on the design, on the interior design market over the last 30 years. I've had 73 career cover stories. I was listed last year as one of the top 50 interior designers and women interior designers and architects in America. And I've just been named one of the top 100 designers in the world. So all of our stories are published. We like to work to a very high level, and we are a personal, caring firm. What I'd like to do before we go into question number one is to talk about, I actually have something I'd like to say before, and that is, it's really a special relationship between the interior designer and the company, the family, or the person who's hiring. And so I think that the more information people have, the better. I think many interior designers are sort of just pushed into a broad category of interior design. And I really see that very broadly there are two approaches to interior design. There are those designers who I would call style-centric. In other words, these are individuals or firms that have worked incredibly hard to develop a look which is theirs. And each and every one of their projects is identifiable because it bears the look of that firm. So that may be what some potential interior design buyer wants. And on the other hand, there are those designers who are problem solvers. And I consider myself to be a problem solver. I am not going to make recommendations based on the current trends of, for example, you're going to love this because it's a black kitchen, or isn't just navy blue and white always right? No. My recommendations are based much more on the stated goals, the reality, the timeline, the budget, and the possibilities of the building that someone is working in. And so this kind of a relationship requires a lot more conversation. The client is, in fact, becoming part of the design team. All of that goes into it. Yeah, I think that most designers start out with trying to learn as much as they can about the potential client, and that takes many different forms. I mean, sometimes people have a questionnaire. Most designers would like to see tear sheets or books, images that clients have pulled together to describe what it is that they think they would like to have. But I often find that with a process where each step of the way you're offering more than one alternative, that the problem-solving modality works to truly uncover what the preferences and the problems are. So we work, it is a very process-oriented way in which we work. In other words, some design firms come in after an initial interview, and they come in with a board, and they say, okay, this is the plan. This is going to be, this is the sofa that's going to be used, the bathroom's going to go over there, and it's all going to be blue. It doesn't work that way at Drysdale. We prepare in sketches or preliminary drawings. Well, there could be a bathroom, and it could be here or it could be there. Without getting into the color or the type of sofa, you could have a sofa and accommodate 8 people in the following different ways. And once we have looked at planning, cost, and really the viability of any of these proposals, we move forward incrementally. God, do you know what I think about all the time? I wish that there was some app out there like Match.com, that would pair up ideal clients with designers. You could say, do you make up your mind quickly? And if you do you keep with your decisions? Do you have a partner? And does your significant other even know you're doing this project? Is there going to be a project leader on your side? I think it would just be so much fun if we could actually do that. But what my little app story underscores is that so much of this really is about chemistry. You need to put aside for one moment the actual project. Put aside for one moment the qualifications of the potential designer. You really need to find another company, person, partner to work with you in a way that you understand as the client, that feels comfortable to you. Work with a person you can trust so that you have an open relationship with respect to sharing ideas and dealing with the little things that, do come up.
Yes, design empathy.
And design empathy is very high on that. But everybody has a different way of dealing with their clients. So I really think that in choosing, you're not just choosing someone's portfolio. You are choosing somebody's ability to work with you, to prioritize your project, and to deal with you in ways that, are comfortable. Absolutely. I love tile. Floors and walls for me are big common uses of tiles. But I did a number of years back, I did a 16,000 square foot historic project with architectural ceramics, and it was a French style house, unusual for these parts. And we did a classic limestone and black limestone floor in this house, and it was so beautifully done. The quality of the stone, extraordinary, and really one of the prettiest floors I've ever seen in my whole life. Even the edges were absolute perfection. The sizes were great. So, and that was massive. And it was really big impact. Very, very early in my career, I did a project for a restaurant that is now closed. It was a Mexican restaurant called La Fonda. And I had decided that, it's such a small little space. Probably, the whole restaurant was about as big as the space where we are within your showroom now. And I thought, this really has to be about tile. So, and what were the colors of those tiles going to be? Because I was experimenting in color with how I saw Mexican food. In other words, colorful. So I designed all the tables so that you could put the table tops together. And each table was different, but they all sort of came together in a different way. The floors were done, the ceilings were done, and the floors, walls, and part of the ceilings. And it was a very interesting project. Progressive Architecture wanted to photograph it. It was very unusual. But I love tile, and you know what I love? I love the story of tile. I mean, I've been working for long enough that I remember in my early projects, in my early condominium projects, you know, there were 3 or 4 or 10 different stones that would be used in a condominium. You know, people would use limestone, or they would use terrazzo, or they would use, one of the white tiles with gray. But the choices were extremely limited. And in terms of pattern and tile, it just wasn't out there. Kitchens, and now I don't think that anyone who is a designer could conceive of working on a project, a home, a house, without multiple expressions of tile. I mean, just look around. There are beautiful designs and patterns everywhere. And even if you wanted to look like wood and not stone, you can do that in tile. I remember in the beginning of my career, my goodness, you know, tile companies were trying to do that, but the first wooden tile products, they didn't work that well. But now they do perfectly, and you can get porcelain that looks like stone, and mosaic patterns, which I guess are now all cut by laser, are extraordinary. So in the time that I've been working, the world of tile and stone and possibility has just changed enormously. I always feel at home when I'm at Architectural Ceramics or Architessa, because there's so many beautiful things to look at. It makes me think, now I could use that in this next project.
This is our canoe collection.
Okay, it's very beautiful. Oh my gosh, the color of this is extraordinary. I love that color. Okay, how would I use it? Well, I wouldn't use it on the floor because, it's a wall tile. It would be destroyed. I think that I would use this in a very modern space. I might use it in an unconventional bathroom where the bathroom and the bedroom are closer, because this tile is very beautiful, and I could see this being, a wall that one would see prominently from the bedroom, and then segue and also see it prominently from the bathroom. I don't think I would use it in the shower, but I would use it in all the primary big walls. I think it's extremely elegant, and I love the proportions system. Even the grout is a great selection for the color of this tile. Does it come in any other colors?
It does. It comes in many other colors. We actually have the dark blue installed in our Rockville showroom bathroom. And if you stop by, you'll be able to see that.
It's very beautiful. I mean, if I just look back here, I see so many things that I want. Clifford, do you think we could put some in the back of the car?
Yeah.
You have always beautiful selections, I have to say. It's wonderful to come out here. But this is really lovely. It's the color. I mean, I do like very much the shape, but the color of this particular ceramic piece really just captures the moment of now. I mean, it's quiet and it's elegant and it's positive.
This one was specifically sourced by Betty, our CEO.
Oh, you're kidding.
It's one of her
Tell her
favorites.
she did a good job. Okay.
Thank you, Mary, so much.
Oh, well, always a pleasure to be at Architessa, to work with Architessa, and to see the enormous creativity and the diversity of the tiles that you have here. Thank you.